PetNomads, where the wild whispers and the unseen comes to life.
What if I told you there's a creature in the rainforest so delicate, so silent, you can see its heart beating through its skin? A frog so transparent, its insides are exposed to the world, yet it hides better than anything you've ever seen. You won't hear it, you'll barely see it. But once you do, you'll never forget. This isn't science fiction. This is a real animal, and it's one of nature's most beautiful ghosts. Welcome, wanderers of wonder. Today we enter the forest not with noise, but with reverence. We listen for the whispers between the leaves, for the pulses beneath the skin of the world. Because today's journey is about what's hidden. Not because it's ashamed, but because it's sacred. Today, we meet a creature that doesn't defend itself with poison or power, but with transparency. Today, we meet the glass frog, a living window into nature's softest genius. Let the rainforest open its secrets. Deep in the emerald labyrinths of Central and South America, where light filters through wet leaves like stained glass, a ghost climbs silently through the trees. Not a ghost of death, but of elegance, of mystery. A frog, with a body so translucent, you can see its organs pumping beneath its skin. The lungs inflate gently. The heart flickers in real time. No armor, no camouflage in color. Just vulnerability, turned into invisibility. The glass frog isn't a name, it's a revelation. First glimpses. For centuries, indigenous communities in Costa Rica, Colombia, and Ecuador spoke of a frog that disappeared when you looked at it. Western science first described them in the 1870s, but it wasn't until high-resolution photography and night expeditions that the world finally grasped what they were seeing. A skin so clear you can watch digestion in real time. A body that blends not into dirt or bark, but into light itself. To find one is a rare gift. To photograph one is a privilege. To touch one is almost a betrayal. Where they hide, glass frogs live in humid mountainous rainforests, often near fast-flowing streams and waterfalls. They cling to the underside of leaves, usually on trees or vines just above the waterline. During the day, they barely move. Their bellies press flat against the leaves, and the sunlight passes through them like green-tinted glass. From above, they are faintly lime green. From below, they disappear. In this stillness, in this illusion of absence, they thrive. Not just one species. Glass frog is a term that covers over 150 different species, all within the family Centralenidae. They vary in size, color tone, and level of transparency. Some are nearly opaque. Others are so transparent you can track the beat of life from your side of the leaf. But they all share a mission: to live unseen. Why transparency? It's not just a trick. It's a survival strategy. Most predators rely on contrast, shadows, outlines, solid forms. But the glass frog blurs those lines. Its translucency disrupts shape detection, making it fade into the patterns of light and leaf. No poison, no claws, just silence, stillness, and surrender to invisibility. A life, measured in moments. Glass frogs are nocturnal. At night, males call from leaves above rushing water, singing high-pitched tones that barely rise above the splash of the stream. If a female responds, he'll lead her to a perfect leaf. There, she'll lay translucent eggs, dozens of them, which the male may guard with rare devotion. A topic para o capítulo 3. Their entire world is wrapped around leaves, water, moonlight, and the constant threat of being noticed. So they've made an art of vanishing. A living jewel you might never see. The glass frog is not rare because it's few in number. It's rare because it chooses not to be seen. Its world overlaps with ours, but it exists in a different tempo, slower, softer, secret. To witness one in the wild is to witness stillness made visible. To recognize it, you must first become still yourself. Because this creature, this living breath of glass, only reveals itself to those willing to slow down and look beneath the surface. To understand the glass frog is to question everything we know about protection. Because in a world where survival is often about hiding behind armor or striking first, this little amphibian chose a different path. It chose to disappear by becoming visible. The skin that doesn't lie. The glass frog's skin is more than thin. It's translucent, and in some species, nearly transparent. Through it you can observe the heart pulsing rhythmically, the liver, white and spongy, the digestive tract, winding slowly through the body. In some cases, even the bones. From above, its skin reflects a soft green, blending into the foliage. From below, it becomes a lens, a window into life's machinery. The camouflage paradox. You might wonder, wouldn't being transparent make it easier to spot? But nature is more nuanced. Transparency doesn't make the frog glow. It makes it disappear into the dappled light of the canopy. Predators scanning from below see light-shadow blur, but no outline, no shape, just a shimmer, like heat on stone. This makes the glass frog nearly invisible from multiple angles. It isn't just hiding, it's deconstructing presence. The science behind the magic. Scientists discovered that this camouflage works even after death. In one study, glass frog bodies were placed in leaf environments, and predators failed to detect them at all. Why? Because their skin allows background light to pass through, creating an optical illusion that tricks the brain's contrast system. Their organs reflect less light than typical tissues. Their bones are lightly pigmented, even their red blood cells cluster differently during rest. It's biology performing sleight of hand. A floating heart. One of the most hauntingly beautiful facts? You can see the glass frog's heart beating. It rises and falls in real time, a fragile drummer keeping time under a veil of skin. Some researchers believe that predators, when confronted with this sight, may hesitate, not out of fear, but confusion. Because the glass frog doesn't just hide, it disarms you, with awe. An evolutionary gamble. Of course, transparency comes with trade-offs. Thin skin makes dehydration a bigger threat. It's more vulnerable to pollution and chemical absorption. Exposure of organs can be dangerous in non-natural light or lab conditions. But the glass frog didn't evolve for zoos. It evolved for moonlight, for mist, for leaves that cradle and streams that sing. It evolved to thrive in the margins, not in the spotlight. When night falls over the rainforest, and most creatures settle into dreams, the glass frog awakens and begins its silent symphony. A life. Above the stream. Unlike many amphibians that dwell in muddy waters, glass frogs prefer elevation. They live in the trees, often clinging to the underside of leaves several feet above fast-moving water. From here, males call to females with soft, chirping songs, high-pitched and rhythmic. The stream below covers them in white noise. The leaves above conceal them from predators. It is a life suspended, half seen, half heard. Courtship in silence. When a female responds to a male's song, he leads her to a carefully selected leaf. There, she lays dozens of eggs in a glistening, jelly-like mass. And then, something remarkable happens. The male stays. The father's vigil. In many frog species, parenting ends with fertilization. But some glass frog species break that mold entirely. The male guards the eggs, often for days or even weeks. He keeps them moist by shifting dew from the leaf with his body. He chases away ants, wasps, and parasitic flies. He doesn't roar. He doesn't fight. He watches. He protects. He waits. In the darkness, he becomes a guardian, a whisper of protection in a world of thunder. Birth above the stream. When the time is right, the eggs hatch directly into tadpoles, which drop like tiny raindrops into the stream below. There, they begin a new chapter of invisibility, sliding among rocks and currents until metamorphosis gives them lungs and legs. Few will survive, but the cycle repeats, again and again. Because some stories don't need applause to endure. They just need water, time, and moonlight. For all its beauty, the glass frog is facing the same fate as many of nature's most delicate wonders. It is disappearing. The unseen crisis. Most species of glass frog are not yet extinct, but many are listed as vulnerable, threatened, or data deficient. And the threats they face are all too human. Deforestation of rainforests, hydroelectric dams altering stream flows, light pollution, which disrupts courtship, chemical runoff poisoning the water they depend on. And unlike louder species, jaguars, toucans, monkeys, the glass frog rarely makes headlines. It disappears not just in the forest, but in our priorities. Why so hard to protect? Conservationists face unique challenges. Glass frogs are extremely difficult to find and track. Many live in remote, inaccessible regions. Some have only been seen once or twice in scientific records. We can't protect what we don't understand, and we can't understand what we can't even see. The invisible cost. When we lose a species like the glass frog, we don't just lose a frog. We lose a metaphor. We lose proof that transparency can work. We lose the idea that gentleness can be enough, and the world becomes a little louder, a little harsher, a little less magical. But there is still time. Protected areas are expanding. Bioacoustic tools are helping track frog populations by sound. Awareness is growing, with videos like this one. We still have a chance to protect this miracle, but we must look carefully. We must listen closely. We must believe in what is barely visible. Not all teachers speak. Some simply exist. The glass frog teaches without saying a word. It teaches through stillness, through softness, through being seen and not. And if we listen with more than our ears, we may learn the quiet truths it offers. 1. Transparency can be power. In a world obsessed with masks and armor, the glass frog survives by showing everything. Its vulnerability becomes its defense. Its openness confuses aggression. Maybe there's strength in not always hiding who we are. 2. Presence is more than visibility. The glass frog is always there, even when you don't see it. It reminds us that presence isn't measured by attention, but by connection, by rhythm, by trust. 3. Even the softest can protect. Who would have thought a tiny frog could guard eggs with such devotion? Could resist the noise of predators by simply waiting? There's a kind of bravery in patience, a kind of strength in protection. PetNomaderz, you came looking for a transparent frog. But maybe you found something deeper. A creature that doesn't fight to be seen, that doesn't shout to be known, that survives by trusting the world to forget it, just long enough to thrive. And maybe, in a world that moves too fast, this little ghost in the leaves is the exact reminder we needed. To slow down, to soften, to let the light pass through us, and to trust that even the invisible can leave a lasting mark.